Good day, this is the Longmont weather forecast. I am Chief Meteorologist John Ensworth, and we're talking about the period of time, Friday through Monday, basically this big old weekend, March 27 to 30. We have some rain coming for Friday, but we'll get to that after we look at the moon. In the middle of our little forecast window here Sunday night, if you're out and about, you'll see a waxing crescent in the southwestern sky after sunset, and it's on its way to first quarter in just a few days. Big picture is yet another trough digging off the west coast. Remember, for the last about 2 or 3 weeks, we've had trough-iness out there. It's taken different forms, it's sent different pieces of energy out. This is another evolution of it, where it's digging down, then heading across us, but leaving another piece behind to dig again and come across later. So this is the way things are right now. But you can see up ahead of it this conveyor belt of moisture from the tropics streaming across Arizona, New Mexico, up into Colorado and out into the plains. Our warm temperatures in the middle of the week, coming from Wednesday into Thursday before this forecast, is because of this little bit of ridginess out here. And we can see that on the 500 millibar map. Again, these lines are lines of equal height above sea level, where you find the half pressure or 500 millibar level in the atmosphere. It gives us a great picture of how winds go, because the winds are going to flow right along parallel to these black lines. In fact, you can see the individual stations here. There's a little coding system for how fast the winds are blowing based on the little flags in there. And the wind always goes from the flag section down to the empty point and onward. So basically, westerly winds across the United States. Here's our trough off the west coast with its loop of air around it coming out there. This is the flow of moisture up into our state. Friday morning, correction. This trough for Friday morning has moved onshore, is heading through Nevada, Southern California. You can see the lines are bunching together more to the southeast of it. We're on the stormy side. This is the uphill side of the trough, and so this is where we expect the atmosphere to be lifted, moisture coming out of the Gulf at low levels and the mid levels coming out of the southwest, giving us a good setup for some rain and maybe a little bit of snow. Our ridge is moving out into the Great Plains away from us, and note this next ridge, next trough, plays into the story next week. So this is correct, Thursday noon, going back before we go live with this video, you can see that trough has got a low spinning up in Utah, a little cold front stretching down through Arizona. Now the piece of the front up here coming out of Wyoming, Idaho, Utah, coming into northwestern Colorado. Going to Friday morning, the low is consolidating here in the southeastern part of the state. The moisture that's falling is still lagging behind here. You can see it's up here, still not quite organized well at the surface. But by Friday evening, the low is deepening. You can see more little concentric circles of, in this map, this is lines of equal pressure at the surface adjusted for sea level. You see the cold fronts making it into Texas. Moisture coming around, wrapping around this backside of the low. We got upslope flow, we got easterly flow here, the things that give us rain and give the mountains snow. Eventually enough cold air will come in at the end of this system to give us some snow out on the plains as well. By Saturday, we see that trough out here already past Texas and moving on towards Mississippi and Mississippi River, and we got the low up there. We have a little ridge that was over California is now over us, warming us very quickly. So if we do get a coating of snow or even an inch of snow, it'll be gone very soon. And then we got another trough back here to give us some more interesting weather as the week starts. So looking at the big picture out the next 10 days, temperatures are definitely transitioning into spring. We see very little in this GFS series of runs of temperatures going below freezing. Friday night we just get down to maybe a degree or two below freezing. Rest of the week on to the next weekend, very, very warm. Here's our big shot of rain for Friday night. And then here's another chance of rain coming Monday with that second trough pushing in. Next week, who knows? It's a bunch of mess. I don't believe much 9-10 days out in a computer model, especially with lots of little shortwave troughs moving around. So the GFS is giving us rainfall and just precipitation in general across the state. The southeastern corner kind of misses out, but right here around Longmont, we're between 1/4 and 1/2 inch of rain. Maybe a little drier just south of us. That's kind of below the resolution of what you'd expect to be accurate in the model. Up here you got maybe approaching 1 inch in lucky spots up in the mountains. Out here in the northeast corner, they get a good dump of rain. They got a much more direct fetch of the moisture from the Gulf of Mexico coming up around the low there. For snowfall, the GFS has a coating. I mean, we get a little bit more than just trace. It's actually enough to whiten the ground. And then right here on the west side of town, that's the 1 inch mark. So yeah, coating to 1 inch is pretty good. Very tight gradient. You get to Lyons, and they might have 3 or 4 inches. Boulder is looking like 4 to 6 inches. Estes Park, maybe 6 to 8 or so. So it's very local little maximum of snowfall caused by the cooler temperatures at higher elevations. Different pattern though over on the North America model, the NAM, where we have more snow here. They've gotten us in the 1 to 2 inch area, but less snow up on the nearby mountains, more snow over on the western slopes. So they're seeing more moisture lift over there from the front and the low, and not as much being kicked up on this side. It's interesting. It's just a different emphasis on what physics matters. So putting the week together, for Friday, we have a really good chance of rain, changing over to snow in the evening sometime before it all kind of pulls out before midnight. Saturday and Sunday, very nice, just some clouds. Monday we have sun, but then a chance of rain a little bit later, probably not a lot. And then on in the next week, we start pushing close to the 70s with clear skies and very low chances of rain. For more local news, take a look at the longmontobserver.org. I post more frequent weather updates there as well under the weather column. This has been Chief Meteorologist John Ensworth for the Longmont Public Media. Keep looking up.